My Infinity Gamer system told me that I now have super intelligence and all the skills and abilities of Dr. Gero, Brainiac, Dr. Brief, Bulma Brief, and I also have all the abilities of Elder Guru and Kami. And then I smirked when I saw all my new abilities and perks on my Infinity Gamer screen system, and then immediately I created myself a hyperbolic time chamber inside a pocket dimension that I made using Capsule Corp technology, and I went and trained in my advanced hyperbolic time chamber for billions of years, and I gained all the powers and strength surpassing Saitama the One Punch Man. I did this to prepare myself for Freddy Krueger, because a man with an invincible soul, mind and body can't be killed by a nightmare demon like Freddy Krueger. And my Infinity Gamer system said, congratulations, you have leveled up to Infinity Level 4 and you now have all the abilities of all the Dragon Ball characters, and you also have all the abilities of Saitama the One Punch Man, and you now have the ability to use the Deadeye Slayer knife, and then the Voorhees blade from the final Friday the 13th Jason Goes to Hell appeared in my hand, and then I said it's time for me to go home and visit my family, and since I'm a genius I became very rich. Very quickly I became the owner of a corporation and I named it Capsule Corp. That's right, I invented Capsule Corporation technology in my new world, and I made trillions of dollars from my new invention, and I became very rich, and I did this so I would have no trouble traveling around the world killing monsters that are pure nightmare fuel. But I decided to pay my little brother Jason Voorhees a visit first, and for some reason he didn't attack me. Instead he stalked me, and I rebuilt our old house, and Jason still didn't try to kill me for some reason. But one day he did knock on the door and he had his hockey mask on and everything, but he just simply waved at me and he wrote down on a chalkboard and it said, "Hi big brother," and I was surprised to see that, and then I was curious, so I started using sign language to see if he could understand me, and then surprisingly he started using sign language and he said, "I understand you and I know why you left us behind and I forgive you, but I need your help big brother." And then I asked him with what Jason, and then he said, "I need help to kill the people that murdered mom," and he begged me to help him, and then I said in sign language, "No little brother, murder is wrong and that woman killed mom out of self-defense," and then Jason Voorhees got visibly angry and he said in sign language, "I don't care about all that bullshit, they killed my mother and they should pay for that and I'm not letting this go." And then I said, "Jason wait," in sign language, "You need help, just come back home little brother and I'll take care of you." And then Jason said, "I needed you years ago but you weren't there and I've learned to survive in the wilderness on my own." And then I asked Jason a serious question, "Are you possessed by a dead-eye demon?" And then he said yes and no, and then I said, "Please explain." And then he said, "I'm Jason Voorhees, I'm your brother, but the dead-eye made peace with my human soul and now we work together." And then I realized something, Jason Voorhees' soul never left his body, instead my brother shared his human body with the dead-eye demon inside him and it became a part of him. And then I said in sign language, "Little brother, it's wrong to kill innocent people, don't do this please." And then Jason said, "Fuck them and fuck you too," in sign language, and then Jason Voorhees said in sign language, "You better not be here when I get back." And years of guilt and regret came flooding back when I realized that I could have saved Jason Voorhees from his tragic fate. And then I said in sign language, "I'm not leaving you alone Jason." And then Jason said in sign language, "Fuck off, I don't need you anymore." And then Jason went back to Camp Crystal Lake and he tried to kill all of the camp counselors, but this time since I was a part of the story I decided to stop him before the whole thing started, so I killed him with the Demon Slayer knife right before he could murder the first council member that killed our mother. And since I wore a mask and gloves no one else knew it was me that killed my own brother. And then I buried Jason Voorhees beside our old house that I rebuilt using my vast wealth and resources, and I said, "I'm so sorry little brother, you didn't deserve anything that happened to you." And I created an invincible coffin that no one could open and Jason Voorhees could never escape from my coffin that I made with my powers. I made Jason's coffin from first divine metal and I used the same metal to lock his coffin forever so he could never come back. I did this because I knew all about Jason Voorhees from my previous life, so I trapped and bounded his body inside an invincible coffin, because after I killed Jason Voorhees the first time his innocent soul went to heaven but the dead eye inside him stayed.